The dishwasher is quiet with all that empty space. I load the forks and glasses in a slow, thoughtful pace. The cupboard's getting lighter, one less bowl, one less mug, a slow and steady shrinking, like a solitary shrub. I cooked your favorite pasta out of some old dumb habit, and stood there at the counter with the silence I could grab at. I plated up the portions, mine and yours the usual two, and stared at that extra serving with nothing left to do. 'Cause it's one less plate to set down at the table, one less laugh to carry up the stairs, one less heartbeat in the hush of this old fable, just the settling dust on the unclaimed chair. It's the simple, stupid math of subtraction, the quiet daily proof of a lost attraction. In the mundane and the ordinary, the love you navigate is measured out in one less plate. I dropped a glass this morning, it shattered on the tile, a sharp, sudden symphony that lasted for a while. I swept up all the pieces, each a tiny, jagged moon, a fitting representation of an ending far too soon. And as I threw the shards away, a thought cut just as deep. I'm down another plate to lose, another memory to keep. The inventory of ours is dwindling day by day, becoming just a solo set to put politely away. 'Cause it's one less plate to set down at the table, one less laugh to carry up the stairs, one less heartbeat in the hush of this old fable, just the settling dust on the unclaimed chairs. It's the simple, stupid math of subtraction, the quiet daily proof of a lost attraction. In the mundane and the ordinary, the love you navigate is measured out in one less plate. They say time heals the grand wounds, the dramatic and the deep, but nobody warns you how the little vigil that you keep over kitchenware and laundry, over shelf space on the wall, is where the ghost of always takes its most enduring fall. It's not the photo albums, it's the grocery list for one, it's the single tea bag steeping when the morning has begun. It's the space where something lives now, just avoid that resonates, the deafening sound of one less plate. Yeah, it's one less plate to wash and dry and put away, one less reason for the sun to find the day, one less argument, one less past to solve, my dear, one less everything that made the we so crystal clear. It's the hollow in the cupboard, it's the weight I can't negate, the brutal honest ledger of our love's diminished state. In the archaeology of loss, the love you can't debate is counted in one less plate. So I'll stack the dishes neatly, a single tidy pile and face the empty evening with a solitary style. And in that clean and quiet space where your presence used to wait, I'll hear the hollow echo of that one last plate. I drove past that old burger joint we always used to fight about, the one with the neon sign that was always flickering out. My thumb hovered over your name, a ghost on the screen with a memory so vivid, a whole and vivid scene of you laughing with ketchup right there on your chin, and me rolling my eyes as you wiped it a grin. I had the number dialed, the first ring in my ear. Then I remembered why you wouldn't want to hear. I almost called you tonight, almost broke the silence, almost caved and gave up the fight, almost let my fingers betray what my head knows is true. Out of habit, out of muscle memory, out of the blue, I almost called you to tell you a joke only we'd understand, to ask for your opinion, to reach for your hand. But the distance between almost and doing is a canyon so wide, where our love used to live and where my pride and my heart now reside. They replayed our song on the radio, a cruel casual twist. My chest did that thing, that familiar foolish clench of the fist. I could smell your old cologne in the car of some stranger, felt the pull of the current, the pull of the danger, to dive back into the past where the water was warm before the gathering world ending quiet final storm. I had the message typed, remember this tune, sitting there in the glow. Then I hit backspace, letter by letter, so painfully slow. I almost called you tonight, almost broke the silence, almost caved and gave up the fight, almost let my fingers betray what my head knows is true. Out of habit, out of muscle memory, out of the blue, I almost called you to tell you a joke only we'd understand, ask for your opinion, to reach for your hand. But the distance between almost and doing is a canyon so wide, where our love used to live and where my pride and my heart now reside. Almost is a phantom limb, it's a reflex, it's innate, it's the path of least resistance that my lonely heart will take. It's the version of me that forgets the last goodbye, that still believes in us beneath this cold and empty sky. But almost is a cliff edge, and calling is the fall, and I've already hit the bottom, losing you and losing all. So I'll live inside this almost, in this quiet in between, where the ghost of what we were is the loneliest thing I've ever seen. So the phone stays dark, the moment passes by, just another almost under this indifferent sky. And maybe that's the victory, maybe that's the cost, loving you so damn much, knowing that it's lost in the silence of an almost, where the echo finally fades with your number unsaved, and the call that never, ever gets made. heard the door swing softly, hinges whispering goodnight. Your shadow crossed the floorboards, swallowed by the hall light. No suitcase by the staircase, no letter left to read, just a simple quiet statement to a desperate begging need. You didn't take your jacket from the peg beside the door. You left your favorite book face down upon the floor. But in the chill of morning, in the sun's accusing glare, was the only explanation you leave hanging in the air. Keys on the counter, cold and clean and still. A tiny metal funeral on the Formica windowsill. No roar of an engine, no tires on the gravel track, just the final quiet answer of you never coming back. A surrender made of brass and chrome, I promise you one key. The echoing metallic sound of a love buried too deep. Yeah, the story of our ending isn't written in the stars, it's right there in the silence of the keys left in the jar. I pick them up and hold them, feel the teeth bite in my palm. A souvenir of safety, now a relic of the calm. This one for the front door, this one for the car we share. A little ring of always that you suddenly unpraised. They're heavier than anchors, they're lighter than a ghost. The thing you needed most to go, the thing you needed most to lose. I shake them just to hear the jangle, a sound so out of place in the quiet of the kitchen and the emptiness of space. Keys on the counter, cold and clean and still. A tiny metal funeral on the Formica windowsill. No roar of an engine, no tires on the gravel track, just the final quiet answer of you never coming back. A surrender made of brass and chrome, I promise you one key. The echoing metallic sound of a love buried too deep. Yeah, the story of our ending isn't written in the stars, it's right there in the silence of the keys left in the jar. I could throw them in the river, let the current take them down, or hide them in a drawer somewhere in this ghost town. But they're a monument to choosing to the road you had to take, to the future you imagined that I couldn't help you make. They're not a question anymore, they're a period, a full stop. The only piece of you I have that I wish that I could drop, but I can't, so I let them lie there shining in the afternoon. A tiny heart, an honest moon. Just keys on the counter, in the dust and in the light, the last and only symbol of your everlasting flight. No slamming door to punctuate, no dramatic tear-filled scene, just the practicalities of making a heartbreak clean. A surrender made of brass and chrome, of yours and mine undone. The battle's over and you won by simply being gone. Yeah, the epilogue of us in a language blunt and true is a ring of metal, superficially it seems, fulfilled by all the silence and the unraveled dreams. And every time I walk inside and turn my own lock in the dark, I see them there and feel the spark of the moment you set freedom down and walked away without a sound. Keys on counter.
The sunlight cuts a dagger through the quiet of the room and illuminates a battlefield of memories and gloom. It doesn't catch the silver or the glass or the design. It just shows a slow surrender, a delicate decline. A soft and grayish blanket settling where your smile used to be. On the frozen, happy faces looking back at me. I run a finger through it, trace a line across our past, and feel the time accumulating, thick and gathering fast. It's just dust on frames, a quiet, patient fall, a gradual erasure, covering it all, the proof that no one's breathing here. No one wipes the slate, just a slow and steady progress of a permanent new state. Yeah, it's dust on frames, a silent gathering proof of a love that's been neglected. Far beneath the roof, the story isn't over, but the telling's getting slow. Underneath the gentle tyranny of dust on frames, we know I should get a cloth and polish, make the captured moments shine, restore the vibrant color to your hand and grip in mine. But there's a comfort in the covering, a mercy in the gray. It softens all the edges of our perfect bygone day. That beach photo from the summer, your hair whipped by the breeze, now has a ghostly halo, lost in a soft focus freeze. And our first awkward Christmas in the sweaters you despised is slowly being buried right before my very eyes. It's just dust on frames, a quiet, patient fall, a gradual erasure, covering it all, the proof that no one's breathing here. No one wipes the slate, just a slow and steady progress of a permanent new state. Yeah, it's dust on frames, a silent gathering proof of a love that's been neglected. Far beneath the roof, the story isn't over, but the telling's getting slow. Underneath the gentle tyranny of dust on frames, we know. Let it settle, let it lay, or let it gently blur the lines between what was beautiful and what was yours and mine. This dust is just the future, laying claim to what is past. A future where this laughter wasn't ever meant to last. Each particle a moment, a second ticked away from the last time that we bothered with the things we didn't say. So I'll let the sun keep tracing its accusing golden beams, and I'll just watch the gathering of dust upon the dreams. Soft and silent creep over promises we made and the vows we couldn't keep. It's the archaeology of leaving a sediment of years, falling from a ceiling made of unshed frozen tears. Yeah, it's dust on frames, the final tender phase where the love is not forgotten, just lost in a soft haze. And I won't lift a finger, I won't fight this quiet claim. I'll just let time write its epilogue in dust on every frame, so the pictures grow more distant, fainter day by day. Less a living record, more a museum soft display. And when someone finally asks me, who was that in there? I'll just smile and say the light's not good, and point to the dust in the air, just dust on frames.
The city's finally sleeping, a low and distant groan. Just the furnace kicking on in this apartment on my own. This phone is a void of black glass, no notification shines, no almost home text blinking in its meticulously timed lines. But the glow from the street lamp, cold and steady blue, cuts a perfect lonely rectangle on the ceiling just for two. It paints the empty space beside me, a vacant concrete slate, and holds me in its witness in this 3:30 estate. And I'm blue light awake, bathed in the chill of a digital dawn's fake, where the ghosts of old conversations are the only sound I make. Counting the cracks in the plaster that your eyes would never see, just me and the hum of the refrigerator and what's left of you and me. Blue light awake, not tired, not dreaming, just brutally clearly here, haunted by the absence that is suddenly so near. In the glow of a street lamp, a scientific sterile hue. Tell me, how am I supposed to ever sleep again without you? I scroll through a dead feed of people living lives, happy couples, puppies, a streamer look at me thrives. And the blue glow washes over my defeated scrolling thumb, highlighting the silence, making my aloneness numb. I could close the blinds, I know, and plunge the room in black, but the dark feels even heavier, a heavier kind of light. At least this light is something, a cold and steady friend that illuminates the emptiness right up until the end of night. And I'm blue light awake, bathed in the chill of a digital dawn's fake, where the ghosts of old conversations are the only sound I make. Counting the cracks in the plaster that your eyes would never see, just me and the hum of the refrigerator and what's left of you and me. Blue light awake, not tired, not dreaming, just brutally clearly here, haunted by the absence that's suddenly so near. In the glow of a street lamp, a scientific sterile hue. Tell me, how am I supposed to ever sleep again without you? Used to hate this light, you'd bury your face in my arm, say it felt like a hospital sterile with no charm. I'd laugh and pull you closer, and we'd make our own warm dark, a fortress built of heartbeat sounds, a safe and breathing ark. Now the blue light is the keeper, the guard of this new space. It shines on the flat where your warmth left no trace. It doesn't judge or pity, it just is and it remains the perfect cold companion for these solitary pains. So the sun will come eventually, a warmer, softer gray, and chase this electric midnight and the lonely world it made. But I know when the dusk falls and the ordinary day does break, I'll be right back here, waiting, blue light awake, just blue light awake. Showed up with rain in your hair and that familiar well-worn stare. Held a single daisy wilted like an afterthought prayer. You said the words you practiced in the review all the way, a perfect polished speech for a devastating ordinary day. Your voice cracked on the chorus that I never meant to, a performance so convincing I almost let it get through. But then I saw your eyes dart to the car you left running in the street, a getaway out of lean, making your confession bittersweet. 'Cause sorry means nothing when the trust is on the floor, just a shiny empty wrapper for what you came here for. Absolution on a deadline, a check mark, a closed door. Yeah, sorry means nothing, not anymore. It's a band-aid on a bullet wound, a whisper in a gale, a hollow echo following the blowing of the sail. You can string the syllables together, perfect and profound, but sorry means nothing when my whole world's falling down. You listed all the reasons, the stress, the fear that it's not you, as if a justification could make the lie less true. You offered up your sadness like a currency to trade for a cleaner, quicker exit from the mess that you had made. But sorry doesn't rebuild a bombed out sacred space, or put the light back in the hollow of this room, this empty place. It doesn't unsay the cruel words, it doesn't rewind the tape to before you chose the cowardice, the infidelity, the great escape. 'Cause sorry means nothing when the trust is on the floor, just a shiny empty wrapper for what you came here for. Absolution on a deadline, a check mark, a closed door. Yeah, sorry means nothing, not anymore. It's a band-aid on a bullet wound, a whisper in a gale, a hollow echo following the blowing of the sail. You can string the syllables together, perfect and profound, but sorry means nothing when my whole world's falling down. The truest thing you said tonight wasn't I'm a fool or I was wrong. It was the engine running, saying you couldn't stay long. Your apology had an expiration, a meter running fast, a transaction, not a healing, meant to finish up the past. So take your wilted flower and take your practice paint and drive off in the rain. You used to say we dancing. My silence isn't forgiveness, it's the calm after the blast, the first day of a future where your sorry is my past. It's the sound of your conscience trying to quiet your fear. It's a self-serving anthem, a convenient cheap tattoo. Words you used to feel better for the hell you put me through. Yeah, sorry means nothing, it's a lock with no key. It's the sin of your guilt, it means nothing to me. So save your breath for someone who believes in ghosts. I'm building something stronger from these ashes and these posts. I close the door, I hear your car finally drive away. I don't cry, I just sweep the broken pieces of yesterday. And that word you left hanging so heavy in the air, it just dissolves to nothing. It means nothing, it was never really there. We planted seeds in April in a patch of stubborn ground. Dreamt of deep green tendrils and the way they twine around. A trellis we built together from branches and old twine. A promise we could watch grow, given enough sun and time. We checked the soil each morning, your hand in mine in dirt, whispering to something hidden, measuring its worth. But one cold snap in Maytime, a frost we didn't see, silenced all that potential quietly. Our love died young. It never saw the summer, never climbed into the sun, never weathered any harvest, its story left unsung. Just a tender tiny shoot, too fragile for this world, a beautiful beginning prematurely furled. Our love died young. We had the blueprint for a forest, a canopy so tall, but all we got was inches, then nothing after all. I keep the empty packet, the one with the bright design, a picture of the blossoms that were yours and mine. I traced the smiling sun on it, a cruel and cheerful mock of the little wooden crosses down at the end of the block, where other loves lie resting, with headstones and with dates. Ours doesn't get a marker, just a memory that waits in the untilled garden of a heart that's gone to snow, for a love that never got the chance to grow. Our love died young. It never saw the summer, never climbed into the sun, never weathered any harvest, its story left unsung. Just a tender tiny shoot, too fragile for this world, a beautiful beginning prematurely furled. Our love died young. We had the blueprint for a forest, a canopy so tall, but all we got was inches, then nothing after all. They mourn the ancient oaks that fall in some dramatic storm, but who cries for the sapling never taking its true form? Who grieves the melody that faded on the second note? The unsailed ocean clinging to a single lonely boat. Our love is a what if, a ghost of might have been, a room we never furnished, a fight we never win. It's the hardest kind of ending, with no villain and no crime, just a slow, confusing passing of unfulfilled sweet time. Oh, our love died young. It the autumn, never felt the turning year. Never learned the compromises or conquered any fear. It was a perfect porcelain promise, shattered on the floor. A promise we could make but couldn't keep anymore. Our love died young. We had the seeds of something timeless and evergreen about. But the season changed too quickly, and it's nothing but a memory now. So I'll let the garden go to weed, let the trellis fall and gray, and I'll try to face the countless ordinary Aprils on their way. Not with grief for what was lost, but for the life it never led, for the love that went to bed so early in a too small lonely bed. Our love died young. The floorboard creaks the same way, a tired and lonely sound. I memorize your new routine without turning around. I hear your kettle whistling at 7:03, the shuffle of your slippers, the nightly news on TV. You hum a tune I taught you, slightly off key and low, a secret I still know by heart, a broadcast from a shadow show. I press my palm against the plaster, cold and flat and plain, and listen to the echo of a life without my name. 'Cause we've got paper thin walls and a canyon in between. I hear your every heartbeat, but I'm living in a scene where you're just a soundtrack to my solitary night. A ghost in stereo, bathed in the neighbor's light. Yeah, paper thin walls and a love that's wearing thin. I hear you start to cry, but I don't let myself come in. We share a single structure, but we're worlds apart it seems. Trapped in the cruel poetry of paper thin walls and dreams. You brought someone home Friday, I heard the laughter bloom, a bright and foreign sound that filled up your living room. I turned my music louder, a pathetic weak defense against the happy evidence of your new confidence. I heard the good night silence, the quiet that's worse than noise, the end of someone else's story, not ours, not our old boys. And in the heavy darkness, with just some drywall in the way, I mourn the death of us again at the closing of your day. 'Cause we've got paper thin walls and a canyon in between. I hear your every heartbeat, but I'm living in a scene where you're just a soundtrack to my solitary night. A ghost in stereo, bathed in the neighbor's light. Yeah, paper thin walls and a love that's wearing thin. I hear you start to cry, but I don't let myself come in. We share a single structure, but we're worlds apart it seems. Trapped in the cruel poetry of paper thin walls and dreams. The landlord could fix nothing that was ever really broke, just plaster over cracks from all the words we never spoke. Now this architecture marks us, this fragile shared frontier, where I'm the audience you never asked for, and you're the voice I still hear. It's a special kind of lonely, this proximity to grief, hearing the proof of moving on and finding no relief in knowing every detail of a life I'm born to live, learning how to take but never ever have to give. We've got paper thin walls and an ocean I can't cross. I tally up your victories and I measure every loss from 3 feet in a lifetime through this unforgiving plaster, hearing the after of you faster and faster. Yeah, paper thin walls, the final bitter joke, hearing your new future with every word you spoke. We built a home together, then we burned it to the ground. Now all that's left's the echo in the paper walls we found. So I lay here in the silence that your noise can't satisfy, and listen to the memory of our own lullaby, fading through the drywall, a faint and distant call from when these paper-thin walls felt like home at all. My thumb finds you in the darkness, a blind and stupid prayer, scrolling past the A's and B's to the silence waiting there. I don't tap the screen, I just hover, trace the letters of your name. A little digital ghost touch, playing out the oldest game. I know the digits by the rhythm, a muscle memory tune that my heart keeps tapping out beneath a lonely, jealous moon. I've typed them in 100 times and never pressed the call. It's a monument to weakness, this last stupid standing wall. I should delete the number, let the cursor blink and burn, watch a contact fade to nothing, a lesson I should learn. Erase the map back to the wreckage, sought the digital earth, proved to myself I recognize exactly what you're worth, which is nothing but a memory with a 10-digit chain, a source of pure temptation, a repository of pain. I should delete the number, make a clean and final break, but my finger won't obey me for my own damn heart's sake. I tell myself I keep it just in case, a practical excuse for if you ever text I'm sorry or need some vital use. But just in case is a trapdoor, a fantasy of grace, where you come back a different person with a different kind of face. It's a lifeline to a shipwreck, a thread I'll never pull, but its simple, stupid presence makes my resolution dull. It sits there in my contacts, a landmine in the deeds between dad and dentist, bringing my weak heart to its knees. I should delete the number, let the cursor blink and burn, watch your contact fade to nothing, a lesson I should learn. Erase the map back to the wreckage, salt the digital, let loose, prove to myself I recognize exactly what you're worth, which is nothing but a memory with a 10-digit chain, a source of pure temptation, a repository of pain. I should delete the number, make a clean and final break, but my finger won't obey me for my own damn heart's sake. Deleting it feels like a second death, a final act of choice, to silence even the possibility of your forgotten voice. It's admitting the goodbye was real, not just a pause delay. It's throwing away the key to a room I'll never stay. Keeping it is a sickness, I know, a slow and toxic brew, a tiny glowing monument to everything I lost in you. But that little string of numbers is the last real tangible thread to a person who is gone now, to a future that is dead. So I don't delete the number, I just let it sit and sting. A quiet private penance for the love I couldn't bring to someone who deserved it, to the woman I should be, who'd have the strength to murder this digital memory. It's a coward's consolation, a prisoner's last view of a world I'm locked out of, a sky that's no longer blue. I should delete the number, I know the reasons why, but tonight I just don't have the strength to say that last goodbye. So the screen will go dark and the phone will be laid down, and I'll wrestle with the phantom of you in this ghost town. And maybe tomorrow, in the cold and honest light of day, I'll find the will to finally swipe away. But not tonight, not tonight. It's not the shattered picture frame, the one I swept away, or even all the brutal things we somehow found to say. It's not the slamming of the door that echoed in the hall, it's what came after. It's the silence after all. The vacancy where anger lived, a cold and empty space. No more footsteps on the stair, no more debating your just case. Just the deafening polite hum of a refrigerator drone, and the understanding deep as bone that I am now alone. Oh, the quiet hurts the most. It's the echo chamber where I miss you like a ghost. It's the space between the heartbeats stretched out long and thin, where the memory of your laughter used to settle in. The fights had fire, the tears had salt, the drama had its cost, but the hollow that it leaves behind, the quiet hurts the most. I turn the television on for background company, some sitcom laugh track mocking what you took from me. I miss the sound of you turning the pages of your book, the way you'd clear your throat before you gave that certain look. I'd give anything for one more stupid, pointless fight over who left the dishes in the sink all through the night. But the battle's over, there's no enemy to shout against or blame, just the quiet settling in and whispering your name. Oh, the quiet hurts the most. It's the echo chamber where I miss you like a ghost. It's the space between the heartbeats stretched out long and thin, where the memory of your laughter used to settle in. The fights had fire, the tears had salt, the drama had its cost, but the hollow that it leaves behind, the quiet hurts the most. You'd think the absence of the storm would be a sweet relief, but it's just a different kind of grief. It's the erosion, not the earthquake. It's the frost, not the flame. It's learning that my favorite sound was the sound of your name, spoken in the ordinary air of a Tuesday afternoon. Now every room's a vacuum sealed and ending way too soon. Oh, the quiet hurts the most. It's the museum of our love, and I'm the only ghost. It's the unrung telephone, the unsung simple tune, the too early ending of a June that should have lasted through the moon. The noise was just a symptom, a fever in the blood, but the quiet is the cure that drowns you in the mud. Yeah, the shouting had its purpose, the chaos had its place, but the quiet is the permanent look of absence on love's face. So I'll sit inside this silence till I learn to call it peace, and pray the echoes one day fade and all the aching cease. But for now, in the calm, in the still, I'm completely lost. 'Cause the quiet, this endless empty quiet hurts.